My friends, we are living in a time when the world feels like it's shifting under our feet. You can sense it. For most of our lives, we've been told one story of American power. We've heard it again and again that the United States sits at the very top, that the world order is fixed, unshakable. But here's the truth that history doesn't stand still. Power rises, power falls, and today the balance, it's changing. We're seeing new nations step onto the stage, not just to participate, but to lead. And among them, one country is pushing forward with remarkable energy. That country is India. Now listen, I don't want to talk to you tonight with fancy words or heavy jargon, because what's happening right now, it's too important to get lost in the weeds. The truth is simple. India is no longer just a regional power. India is becoming a global force. You look at the numbers, you look at the people, you look at the ambition. It's clear. India is standing on the edge of something historic. Think about it. India has more than 1.4 billion people. That's not just a number, folks. That's the largest democracy on the face of the earth. And within that huge population, there's something even more powerful. The youngest workforce anywhere in the world. Millions of young people stepping forward, taking jobs, building businesses, coding apps, launching startups. That kind of energy, it doesn't just shape an economy, it shapes the future. It's like watching raw fuel being poured into an engine. And that engine, it's just beginning to roar. But let me be straight with you, this is not just about demographics, it's about a quiet shift in the world's balance of power. For decades, we lived in a unipolar world where America held the torch, then we saw China rise, challenging the old order, and now we're moving towards something else, a multipolar world, a world with more than one center of power. And India. India is positioning itself quietly, carefully, to be one of those centers. So let's take a closer look. Let's see how India is doing this. First, the economy. You can't be a superpower without an economic engine. And right now, India's economy is among the fastest growing anywhere. 6-7% growth year after year. Compare that to much of the developed world one, maybe 2%. India is surging forward. And this isn't just growth for the sake of growth. It's fueled by reforms. Policies like Make in India, designed to build industries, create jobs, encourage manufacturing right at home. And then there's the digital revolution. Folks, India has built one of the most impressive digital infrastructures on the planet. UPI, the Unified Payments Interface. People all around the world admire it. With a single click, millions can transfer money from big cities to small villages. Fast, simple, transparent. That's not just progress, that's transformation. Behind the headlines, more is happening. India is striking deals across Asia, Africa, Europe, quietly reducing dependence on the US and China, building new trade routes, diversifying supply chains, making sure it doesn't get trapped in anyone else's game. That's not just smart, it's strategic. That's the kind of long-term planning great powers are built on. Now let's talk about something that inspires the imagination, science, technology, space. When Chandrayaan-3 landed on the moon's south pole, it wasn't just a victory for India. It was a victory for humanity, but make no mistake, it was also a message that said India can do what only a handful of nations have done, and this wasn't a one-time thing. Years earlier, India sent a spacecraft to Mars on its very first try at a fraction of the cost of other missions. That's ingenuity, that's efficiency, that's leadership, and it doesn't stop there. India is investing in semiconductors, in artificial intelligence, in quantum computing. These are the technologies that will define the future. Whoever leads here will shape not just industry, but security, influence, power itself. And India is making sure it has a seat at that table. Now, there's another story you won't hear every day. Quiet collaborations with Russia, with partners in the Middle East, working together on advanced technology, defense systems, energy security. Not splashy, not loud, but powerful. These are the building blocks of superpower status. And of course, we've got to talk about defense. India today is the fourth largest defense spender in the world. That's not coincidence. That's choice. That's design. The Indian Navy is expanding, modernizing, securing the Indo-Pacific, one of the most contested regions on Earth. Its missile program, the Agni missiles, capable of carrying nuclear warheads, stands as a powerful deterrent. At the same time, India partners with the United States, Japan, Australia in the Quad, but it also maintains strong ties with Russia. That balance, that's deliberate, it's leverage. And don't overlook this. India is investing in cyber warfare, space defense, quiet investments, not parades, not headlines. But in the 21st century, wars won't just be fought on the ground. They'll be fought in cyberspace, in satellites, in networks. And India is making sure it won't be left behind. Think about India's geography, its position in the world at the crossroads of Asia, looking west to Africa, sharing a border with China, historic ties with Russia, strong relationships with America, leading in BRICS, the G20, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. India is everywhere. It buys oil from Russia even as it runs exercises with America. It partners with the Middle East even as it strengthens ties with Japan and Australia. What does that tell us? It tells us India isn't choosing sides, it's building its own path. Some call it non-alignment 2.0. I call it smart strategy, not fully west, not fully east, but a third pole of power. Independent, confident, respected. So where does this go? What's India's next move in 2020? It's not just about GDP, not just about weapons. It's about leadership, real leadership, because power without purpose, it's empty. And India is shaping a vision that goes beyond raw strength. India is pushing for a permanent seat on the UN Security Council. That's not symbolism. That's a demand that the world reflect today, not 1945. India is also working on financial systems, alternatives to a dollar-dominated order. Trading in local currencies, working with BRICS partners to reimagine global finance. That's not just economics, it's geopolitics. And then climate change. India is investing massively in renewable energy, solar, wind, green hydrogen, because the power of tomorrow isn't just tanks and missiles, it's clean energy. It's the ability to feed and protect your people. But let's be clear, behind the big speeches, behind the global headlines, there's something quieter. A plan, step by step, year by year. India preparing to claim a role that could shake the very foundation of U.S. dominance. This isn't bluster, it's not noise, it's strategy, it's execution. And here we are in 2025. The world stands at a crossroads, the old order fading, the new one not fully born. But one thing is clear, India is no longer waiting for permission. No longer content to be called merging. India isn't just emerging, India is arriving.